Hey guys, before we get into this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast, I gotta tell you this episode is brought to you by this crazy evil live event on history. Evel Knievel, as you probably know, is known for attempting some of the most dangerous epic motorcycle stunts of all time. And now, American motorsports icon Travis Pastrana will honor the legendary daredevil by attempting 3 of his most dangerous feats in Las Vegas, Nevada. He'll attempt these 3 daring jumps, all while riding a modern-day recreation inspired by the motorcycle Evel Knievel used in this 3-hour live event. Travis will attempt to jump 52 cars, 16 buses, and the Caesars Palace Fountain, an attempt that ended with a crash that left Evel gasping for life. That's, in case you missed it, 52 cars, 16 buses, and the Caesars Palace Fountain. That is ridiculous. Tune in to find out what happens. Evel Live kicks off Car Week on History Sunday, July 8th. That's Sunday, July 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on History. All right, now, think of all the weird things found in cars. I'm not talking your garden variety, petrified French fries. I'm not talking about your melted crayons. I'm talking live snakes, bizarre trinkets, the kind of stuff that makes you wonder about, folks. Another thing that will make you wonder, but in a good way, are Continental Belts. I bet you didn't know they're OE in tens of millions of Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, and GM vehicles that roll off the assembly line. They're also OE on the majority of BMWs and Volkswagens. Now, Continental is launching the aftermarket multi-V belt with the OE pedigree. It's their OE technology series, belts that are fanatically engineered for perfect fit, form, and function. And Continental has an OE technology series multi-V belt for 98% of the vehicles on the road in the US and Canada. Hey, you got enough surprises working on cars and trucks. A belt should not be one of them. Go with the Continental OE Technology Series multi-V belt, the belt with the OE pedigree. To get the full story, visit oetechnologyseries.com. That's oetechnologyseries.com. Last but not least, this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast brought to you by Autotempest.com. You know what I hate? I hate double work. I like work. Work is good. Work builds character and the universe rewards hustle. But you know what I hate is doing the same work twice. That's why I don't go to these individual car sites to find cars I'm looking for. Whether it's a specific car, whether I'm just browsing around, no matter what it is, I go to Autotempest.com because Autotempest.com searches all the top car sites at once for me. Saves me all that extra work. I'm telling you, they look at Craigslist, they look at Auto Trader, they look at eBay, they look at Cars Direct, Car Soup, whatever Car Soup is. I've never even been to Car Soup, but Auto Tempest finds it. If someone is dumb enough to list their car on Car Soup, Auto Tempest will find it there. No special codes, no special discounts needed. We love talking about Auto Tempest. They've taken really good care of us over the years. So check them out at Autotempest.com. Whether you're browsing or target searching, they are there for you. Okay. On this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast, it should be a good one for you. We got Brett Hatfield in the building. Brett is an auctions analyst. And basically what that means is you see a picture of a car on Instagram and then you see that car went for $100,000. Why did it go for $100,000? Was it numbers matching? Was it a perfect restoration? Why did it go for less? Why did it go for more? That's what Brett Hatfield does. And it seems to me he's pretty good at it. He sent us a bunch of barbecue from Kansas City where he's at. We murdered it, and now he's in town, and we're talking about collector cars today. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Here we go. Smoking Tire Podcast. Hello, what's happening? This is the real show. On a Friday afternoon. Let's welcome Brett Hatfield, car guy, Corvette expert, I believe, in theory. Yeah. Potential for Corvette expertise. Auction analyst for sports car market, which I think that's how you ended up here, right? So discussing sports car market on something.
And American Car Collector.
An American Car Collector.
Sister publication, so, you know. And for one and for both.
Yeah. Either way, you know how people make and lose money on cars and some things about Corvettes.
A little bit, yeah.
And you send me barbecue from Kansas City? The best barbecue? What's it called again?
It's Jack Stack.
I'm sorry, I hadn't heard of it before.
No, that's okay.
Apparently, Zaggett's liked it because it says on the box, like, #1 on Zaggett's. Yeah. Best barbecue in America.
They are fantastic.
Well, I'm stoked. Thanks for sending it.
You're going to dig
it. Cheers to you. Is this mic in the way?
No, it's cool.
I'm going to make it go away. How's life, sir? Did you just get here? Did you airport to studio?
No, we got here Wednesday.
Y'all from Kansas City?
Yes, we are. Did yesterday for preview and setup day over at Russo and Steel.
Oh, here, Los Angeles?
No, Newport.
Oh, Newport. Wait? There's a Russo and Steel auction this weekend in Newport?
Yeah, want to go?
Maybe.
Dude,
tomorrow morning, are there things happening?
Yeah, we're there.
Is there some? I should get on Russo and Steel's mailing list. What are some of the primo items? Is some good stuff?
Oh, the thing I fell in love with last night right before we left, a '67 Ferrari 330 GTC.
Oh, that's a tough car to fall in love with.
With a really nice older restoration, and the paint's starting to let loose in a couple of places, but the rest of the car is stunning.
Really?
It really looks great. Yeah, it should have the...
Is it going to be 7 figures or
no
middle sixes?
I'm guessing 550 just because of the paint, but the rest of the restoration on it's really nice.
Tim, can you go to Russo and Steel's website and see if they have any of the feature cars for the Newport auction ready and handy, so we could drop it in for the...
It's a Saturday run number.
You don't have to dig that deep. I also just saw, I don't know which direction you guys came from, speaking of a light patina. Did you see the red Viper up the road?
No.
There's a Viper up the road that I have been looking on the lookout for a bit. I see him around. He lives in the neighborhood. It is a Viper.
Is it early?
Yeah, it's a 92.
Okay, to look at the hood, right?
And what am I looking for on 92?
Any hood damage on 92s, my understanding is the hood to replace is 10 to 15K.
Okay, well, this one is notable mainly because it's the shittiest Viper I've ever seen.
So are you just buying the drivetrain, or are you...
No, I'm not trying to buy anything. I happened to see it because it has. I just looked. It had the roof off. It has 191,000 miles.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and it's like falling apart, and the dude dailies it, and it has. It's the most beat Viper ever.
That's 190.
That's got to be high mile record for a Viper.
It could be a record.
It's got to be almost 200K.
The best thing about it last time I saw it was how terrible the seats were, and he's had them recovered, actually.
I'm just sitting here thinking, how much gas did you have to run through it to get to 200,000 miles?
And it's clearly never been painted. The paint is like cracking just and hammered. Fading and hammered.
It wasn't that great new.
No.
It's Chrysler.
No. It's Chrysler at its most mediocre.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the 67 Ferrari could be a winner.
Yeah, it's very very pretty. Like I said, just very minor signs of the paint beginning to let loose on top of the fenders, but the rest of it. And the only other downside is it doesn't have Baranis on. It's got the Marchesini alloys.
The 5 spokes.
No, they're knockoff slotted.
Knockoff slot. Oh. I don't know if I remember those. Whatever. But, not Baranis. Baranis add value. They're expensive. Yeah.
Well, but it'd be worth it. But
probably.
The
I
interior,
like the kind of mag wheels that you could have gotten on a couple of those. Is that what these are?
Yeah.
Oh, I like those. Those are cool.
Yeah, with a chrome spinner.
They're cool.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah.
There was there's a handful of Ferraris. There's a 458 Speciale and a really horrible...
Do people still want an insane amount of money for it? Is that it right there, Tim, on the front page? A Speciale at the bottom?
That's it, right there.
Oh, is that the GTC on top?
Yeah, the GTC's on top. And
here's this. Last I looked, people wanted like $700,000 for Speciales, and they were completely out of their minds.
Yeah, and if that's the one that we looked at yesterday, it was a Grigio Scuro, I believe. And it's not a good color for the car.
What is Grigio Oscuro?
Yeah.
Is that dark gray?
It's kind of a grayish, greenish, just not...
Is that it, Tim?
It is Grigio Oscuro with the striped delete.
Can you make that picture
wouldn't have been
bigger?
my first choice.
But a couple people, like right when the 488 came out, oh, that's not that bad. I think that looks okay. I mean, it's not like a wow color, but it's not like ugly.
I like subtlety.
That was sitting right next to...
I like my supercars in mellow colors and my hot hatchbacks in like nuclear waste green.
Right. You know?
And that one was sitting right next to a 430 Scuderia 16M.
Mm-hmm.
And it was...
The Spider?
Yeah, just dripping in carbon fiber.
There's a lot of carbon fiber on this Spider. Is that the carbon fiber floors? That's when it starts getting ridiculous. The carbon fiber like floor mats.
And huge inserts in the tail too.
Yeah. About right when the 488 came out, and it was like the last naturally aspirated, and all these speculators started throwing 750 up in the air for their specials. And I drove a special, and then I drove a 488, and I went, don't buy the Special for $750. That's stupid.
No, just go buy the 488.
Buy the 488, yeah. But there's a lot. What do you think about everyone's looking for a last, right? Last manual, last naturally aspirated, last.
Yeah, but
there seems to be there's like a new last like every day. Is that
yeah,
someone
but
just giving us money
just
over and over?
That's probably a mistake, I would guess.
Well,
or he just loves us.
Or he just loves us, and if you just love us, thanks, Brandon.
We love you, Brandon.
Brandon's throwing in hard. He's
like, fuck, delete.
He's like, maybe, did he just get a promotion, or is he just drunk on a Friday afternoon? Either way, whatever mood you're in, we're with it.
No, I can dig drunk on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. Wait, so what are people trying to cash in on these lasts now?
I think so, but every time... And of course, my default position is always Corvettes. Every time
you can use that example.
Every time you think, okay, this is it. They're not going to cross that line, and then they cross it, and then okay, that's it. Yeah. They're not going to cross that line. So, latest iteration, 7th gen Z06.
7th gen is Corvette Z06. Yes,
and you're thinking, okay, 650 horse. That's it. They're not going to cross that line.
Yeah.
Then ZR1.
Have you had a go in it yet?
No, but I watched yours. I'm impossibly jealous.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's really nuts.
It looks like
eventually, I'm sure.
Well, and there's an analogy to be made, but we'll come back to it. So then they say, 7th gen ZR1, that's it. And no sooner do they have ZR1 out of their mouth again, 8th gen, mid-engine, and we've seen the drawings, and now we're seeing mock-ups and all that stuff, and it's pretty well in the pipeline.
The only reason I have to believe it this time, because there's been a mule and there's been drawing every single time, right?
Well, what'd they use for the mule? The Holden Maloo?
Yeah, they had a pickup truck bed thing. Yeah, which I thought was pretty creative. It was sort of a Ford super transit van, you know, evocative. But the only reason I am buying into it now is because there's no front engine prototypes of any kind of anything being seen around. So
and the other problem is, or the not problem, but the thing we run into now is all information is available on the internet. Everything is everywhere. So as soon as they start retooling a Bowling Green, something gets out and somebody talks about it. Or as soon as somebody sees something more than a prototype, it gets out.
Yeah.
The word always gets out. So now every time they talk about, here's the last thing. Well, how much of a premium did the first Z06 buyers throw at it?
I don't know. I hope not much.
and now you see them all over, and it's not the last thing because then the ZR1 and those are coming. They're
My problem with Corvettes, and it's actually a 0.4 General Motors as opposed to, and it's a point against collectors, is that the newest one is always the best one.
Yeah.
There's not, once you get past 1971, there's almost no nostalgia for anything in between 71 and the newest one.
No.
Who the fuck is lusting after an 82 pace car?
78 pace car.
So sorry, whatever it was.
78 pace car, 82 collector edition, and I am that guy.
All right. Settle down. I was close.
I am that dummy.
No, I'm sorry to have offended you.
No, you're not offended, but
Which one had
I want
less
one of each.
Horsepower?
You could get a 78 pace car L82 with 210 horse, and then you had the cross-fucked injection in the 82. And that was 200 horse.
It's not good.
No.
People used to shit on DeLoreans for having no power. I'm like, you don't understand.
Well, and
Corvette.
And don't forget, 78 to 82 one of the options on the list was a factory installed CB.
That's so awesome.
It's just you go back and you look at the stuff and you think, what were they thinking?
That's the Tommy Hilfiger puffy jacket moment. That's when Tommy Hilfiger bought into his puffy jacket moment, and that was the end of that.
That's some Burt Reynolds shit, right?
Yeah. We got to take advantage of this, guys. Yes.
So, it's not, especially with Corvettes, because, once they got into that third generation body style, they started making a ton of them. There wasn't much exclusivity anymore.
How much? What was the production in like the C3 versus C2s? Was it that much more?
Oh yeah. I don't
know.
I mean, think about production.
I never really stopped
all you have to do is think about model
numbers.
years. You only span 63 to 67 with the second.
Oh,
gen.
just the number of years. That's a good point. Yeah. The
and
C3
you went 68 to 82. On the other
forever.
One.
Yeah.
And you got into the mid to late 70s. You were seeing 50,000 of them a year. You start talking. Yeah.
Hard to have them worth money at that.
Yeah, well, you do lose the exclusivity. You don't.
I'll tell you what. I will give them credit. Every C4 I have driven from like 91 and up, the C4 and a half, drives way better than it looks.
Yeah,
they actually drive kind of all right. They have really sharp steering and they ride really well. Actually.
They do, and once they got back to the LT1, you had a little bit of acceleration.
I drove like an '87 Callaway twin turbo that was like the funniest, the most absurd car.
Is that the track car from Texas?
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious because it made like 580 pounds of torque at 4,800 RPM. And then Redline was 5,800 RPM. It was, I think you had a usable power band about 1,200 RPM wide.
It's a real small window.
It was so ridiculous. It was like driving like one of those like a diesel 3,500 or something.
Well, and the other thing
crazy.
The other thing with fourth gen Corvettes, no matter how well they performed, and they had the ZR1s from 1995. The interiors age like milk.
Bro, have you noticed the similarities between the C7 and the C4 interior?
No.
Have you considered, Tim, can we get two images in two windows of a Corvette C7 interior and a Corvette
because of all the digital
like a late C4, like a 1995 or 1996 Corvette? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. They remade the C4 interior in the newest Corvette.
Is that it?
Yeah, no, that's a C4.
And I've owned two C4s.
No, that's an early C4, so that's an 80s one.
Yeah, that's pre-91.
Yeah, there you go. We need a better view of the dash.
And that's 91 up.
There you go. That's fine. So just pull that one and let the people see it. So this is, pay attention to the shape of the binnacle and all that.
I'm seeing the swoop coming off the deck. Oh Lord, did they really?
Okay, so
that's kind of embarrassing.
I know, you can't unsee it. Wait, you got to once you see it. C7 Corvette interior is really, except what I love the 38.
You're gonna do this, and I'm never gonna be able to look at it the same,
bro. Look, it's the fucking same. It's the same. It's exactly the same.
Now you want to know if they had the same guys on the team.
It's the same, except that the screen slides down to hold a gun now.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's exactly the same.
They're sitting in a meeting trying to figure this out, and somebody pipes up and says, "Bob says he's got a good idea."
Oh my God! You know the guy who designed the C7 Corvette also designed the Pontiac Aztec. You believe that?
Oh, no. No.
I'm sorry, I just ruined it for you.
No, I'm just trying to imagine a tinted C7 now.
Right. They should make a tent kit.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Camping in the Redwoods. I got a tent that spits out the back of the car.
I'm down.
Yeah, I drove that Aero wagon, the Callaway with the wagon hatch thing.
How's a rear vis?
Not good. Wait, no. That's less, okay. Less good than a regular Corvette.
Okay.
But not like completely worthless.
Okay.
Like it's all right. It's fine. That thing has 750 fucking horsepower. Whatever was there, gone.
You don't have to worry about it anyway.
Is this a glitch or is this real?
I think it's real.
This is real?
Yeah.
All right, well, Brandon NW has made no fewer than 10 donations.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if $19.99 is the max you can donate.
No,
he
it's
just
not.
keeps hitting the button over and over.
It's not. You can give more, but whatever you're doing, bro, like.
I think the next one's going to be $1,999.
That'd be amazing. Be a good day at the office.
You're going to have to send him a lot of shirts.
No shit. What are the first ones?
Thanks,
the first
Brandon.
one was an actual question. Did I ever drive the Lancia Delta S4 or 037? No, I have not. Have you ever been in privy to either of those ridiculous, amazing vehicles?
One of the downsides of what I do, going to the auctions and seeing all the cars and everything, I get to crawl in them a little bit to get information, but I never get to drive them.
Oh, yeah.
Which really...
It's got to be frustrating.
It is, but, there's other things you get into, and you're just like, wow. Man, I'd never get the opportunity elsewhere.
I got there's opportunities, like the opportunity has to be right as well, beyond just saying enough to say you did it.
Yeah.
Is not like if you got into fucking Jim Clark's Lotus, right, and drove it a half a mile down the street, would you find that experience to be satisfying?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it and not that you need to enter it on the grid at Monterey.
No, but you'd want to be able to drive it somewhere in anger just a little bit.
Yeah. You need to, and so in the case of I've gotten to drive a lot of cars. Many of the experiences were extremely rewarding. Other experiences where I did it just to say that I've done, you know what I mean? I drove a Stratos just to say I did.
Yeah.
Even though I drove it in literally a straight line for 10 minutes at 60 miles an hour. It was a completely unrewarding experience.
Can I pick on you for a half second?
Sure. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it's not a rewarding experience.
What is it like cramming your frame into a Stratos?
Yo, not as hard as you think, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think being as tall as you are, that would have been...
I mean, it wasn't... I've gotten in and out of a lot of race cars that weren't meant for me. You know, like I've driven like other people's race cars where like, I'm sorry, the seat's like bolted down for me. And you're like, So compared to a bunch of those, it was not bad at all. And it's a very strange driving position.
Sure.
Obviously the pedals are far offset. It makes no sense whatsoever ergonomically.
Which is exactly why you want to own one.
Right, but it's not as bad as you think by looking at it. Your fucking face is really close to the windshield, though.
Really?
Yeah, it's like your head is really close to like everything that's kind of going on, and you're sort of acutely aware of that. It was the opposite. I just drove. Bisimoto built this center seat Boxster, which he put a roof on, and he calls it a Cayman, but it's really a Boxster.
I saw...
It's so cool.
I saw a headline for the clip, and I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
Yeah. Well, I haven't... I wrote a piece for Road and Track, and it hasn't come out yet. I'm going to... Travis, if you're listening, I'll send it in this afternoon. I promise. I just finished writing it and doing the video. And the most interesting thing about the car...
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's it from above with the roof removed.
How cool is that?
Yeah, right. So you actually, sitting in the middle, you have this vast amount of space around you. There's no dashboard. It's just an empty, race car shell, and you're in the middle. So there's 18 inches on either side of you from a door, and the windshield's really far away. And so comfortable.
Knowing busy. What's curb weight?
2550.
What's output?
425 at the wheels with an overboost function of 525 at the wheels.
Oh Lord!
It actually it's a quick car.
I would think
it's very quick, but it doesn't. It has the stock gearbox, and you can read about this in Road and Track. So the stock gearbox, not that you can't use the power, you can. It won't. It doesn't just explode, but it's geared for a car that has 220 horsepower, like a 2000 Boxster, and so you're doing a lot of shifting and a lot of going through. You're achieving an extra gear's worth of speed.
I'm just
on
imagining
every straightaway.
I'm just imagining what the handling in that has got to be like.
It's very good. It's very good, but it's so interesting about cars like this. Busy isn't used to building road course race cars, he's building drag cars. So to his credit, his goal is like, I want to learn about handling, and I'm gonna build this thing and have guys like you and Randy and whoever I can get to come out here and drive it and tell me how to set it up and how to drive it better. And that's like God, good for you. Like, learn more, do more. You know, that's great.
The guy has taught himself a ton.
Oh my God,
far.
he's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
But so I was at Buttonwillow with the car, and I had this Lotus Evora 400, just stock, you know, a press car, and it's possible that a better driver could go quicker in the Boxster, and I wasn't really timing myself. I just wanted to have a go, but I find that you know, the fast street cars that I drive are you can get to that limit quite a bit quicker, and like I can go faster in like a fast stock vehicle than in a crazy custom thing, even if it does have a lot of power and no weight. Also, it had manual brakes. That one is where I criticized it a bit, because it's fast enough that power brakes are really in order, I think, you know. Manual brakes are fine on an MG midget, you know, with 100 horsepower.
Or an old Corvette.
Or a what?
Old Corvette.
Fuck that. Manual brakes and old Corvette, please. No thanks.
First gen.
C1's manual brakes?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't.
4-wheel drums. They didn't have disc.
Oh yeah,
65.
they're like not even good.
Yeah, the one I've got, I've had for 30 years.
Your Corvette? Tell me about your Corvette. Is it on your Instagram? Which is 1960 Vet.
It may be. It's
1960 Red Vet.
It's definitely on the Facebook.
Red Vet
Red Vet 1960.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Tell me about this thing.
It was a high school graduation
It's not.
gift.
You have one post, and looks like your house flooded.
Oh no, that's our warehouse. That's our
one post.
That's our warehouse.
It's an album of a bunch of like Mercedes and classic cars.
Yeah, that's all my stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah, that was not good.
Looks like the Bronco made it out okay though.
Yeah, we were walking back to the back of the warehouse. Dad and I were. And he said, I hope it didn't flood any cars. And I said, oh, God. Well, at least the Bronco didn't get flooded. And Dad says, yeah, if the Bronco flooded, we're fucked.
Yeah. Did all those other cars get out okay?
The only one that got it is the red 61 Impala. It's lower than everything else.
There's a collection. Those all three are Impalas, yeah?
Yeah, 63, 61, and then the 60 Corvette and the Bronco.
Oh, wow.
And it's on the end there is a last year W140 S600.
Still works?
Kind of.
Did it work before?
Oh no! The problems it has aren't due to the flood. The problems it has are due to it being a '99 S600.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Has it had some like nightmare service issues?
It's had some, and it's got a recurring climate control thing. It just will never ever The thing makes Sybil look well adjusted. It blows the air wherever the hell it wants to blow the air, and sometimes it picks the temperature for you, and you get no say.
Is the exterior air temperature sensor working?
Sort of.
Okay, because in my 2000 SL,
okay, yeah,
the outside air temperature sensor busted. So the thermometer was alternating between negative 36 degrees and 136 degrees. But that drove the automatic climate control nuts.
Yeah.
And I fixed the sensor, and it was like $60, and then the climate control was fixed.
Here's the weird thing. It was fine until we replaced the windshield. We replaced the windshield, car went bonkers.
Don't do that!
Yeah,
guys,
no kidding.
No! Don't replace the windshield!
So
you have to be someone just asked me, someone literally like a day ago emailed me and said, I want to get a safe, old, reliable German sedan for my wife. And I was like, bro, you are
he's looking for a 240 that's been LS swapped.
Right, yeah. Or a Camry, a Lexus ES, a Lexus LS. That's it.
Well, you got one.
Mine is fucked. I mean, is it
a power steering pump again?
It's not fucked. It's just, it's like the engine will run until the end of time.
Yeah.
But all the accessories and how they hold their oil in are slightly less than ideally engineered.
How close are you to $1 million? I know you're spitting
972,000. Right now, these two guys, a guy and a girl, Anna and Anton. I had dinner with them last night, by the way. They are lovely, and their Bulgarian friends are lovely too. They're really interesting people. We talked about going all over the world, and they'll come on the show after their adventure with the car. They're doing 15,000 miles.
Yeah,
and they have really planned this well, like very, very thoroughly. This is like the thing that they do, and so they have like mechanic friends, fans, whatever they are, placed along the route who can do services. I swear to God, it's so funny. And do services and
so you're not going to lift the hood and find a collection of zip ties.
You know what? Honestly,
Freiburger style fixes in it.
That's happened like several times already. Like, I don't know. It's just at this point, all that's left to do is just get it to the number, because pretty much all the real PR at this point I've already extracted from the vehicle, and so the next round of
you
PR
don't think
comes
the
when
next
you
the
achieve
next
the
hit
goal.
comes at $1 million?
Yeah, no, that's what it does.
Okay.
Yeah. But oh my God, it's taken from December 2014 to now. We went from 897 to 972. So 75,000 miles.
Yeah.
So, but that's 25,000. Means I still have another year of this. Shit. Shit.
Yeah, you could turn it into an Uber.
Actually, there was an option of that, because that was an option to get an exception from Uber for vehicles of interest. There was another option to put it on Turo. That's on the table still. I told Turo.
Turo will rent that town and country. Then Turo will rent your car.
Yeah, no. Turo was down with it. It wasn't even a question. They were down with it. I told Turo that when people stop asking me on an individual level to drive it, who have audiences of various size, then I will call them.
That picture of the town and country those two guys had.
What did they buy? Like an old town and country, right?
No. The one they rented on Turo that had the fender skirts and all that.
Oh, some like Continental kit. Oh
no, you remember?
Yeah.
It was the 600 front end.
Yes,
yeah.
That thing was like fucking $400 a day.
I know.
It's a shit box. Shout out to Turo though, because they hooked me up next week. I have a Tesla Model 3 from Turo.
But the car
not next week, when I get back from Europe.
That car had more ugly on it than a Rolling Stones group photo.
That car was so terrible. It was really, really brutal. I think it was, I don't know, I guess it was a goof, but it's a New Yorker? No, Town and Country's a van. No, the Town and Country was the van.
So it had the 600 nose.
Yeah. Was it
and what was it from the firewall back?
A New Yorker or a LeBaron?
LeBaron.
Yeah.
That thing was hideous.
It was super fucked, but good for Radwood. I like that people are buying cars for Radwood now. When I went out to Busy's to shoot the Cayman, he was like, he had like a slant nose with like really 80s wheels on it. He's like, "Do you like this? I will bring it to Radwood." I was like,
Radwood is one of the few reasons I would hang on to the Broncos now. That 1990 Bronco that was in the picture.
Yeah, are Broncos going up?
Yeah.
They are, right?
Yeah, they are. Along with all the other square body Chevy and Ford trucks.
Yeah, I most of them I think are kind of hunks of shit, but the Broncos I think were made okay.
They were made well, but they rusted if you looked at them cross-eyed.
Oh, okay.
And mine's rust-free 256,000 mile truck.
My old neighbor had a white one, and I said, "Standing offer, sir." But I once drove like a K5 Blazer for like 5 minutes. It was the worst driving vehicle I've ever driven, I think.
They're not terrific.
No. But here in Venice, those things are, bless you, Tim. Woo! A Bronco is like gold here in Venice. You take the roof, you take the roof off it. I mean, especially the first gen Broncos.
Great, I'll get home and mail it to you,
dude. The first gen Broncos are expensive here.
Yeah, well, they're expensive everywhere.
Yeah, are they really?
First gen Broncos have gotten weird, just like Toyota FJs, like early Land Cruisers.
Well, John Ward's buying them all up.
Yeah,
my first gen doubled. I had a 77 from 2008 to 10, 6 to 8, somewhere in there. I bought it for 18, perfect, fully restored, sold it for 30.
Well, I keep waiting for Icon to get around to the newer
2 years later,
Broncos.
60 grand.
They're doing Broncos.
No, the newer Broncos, the brick nose is like mine.
Shit, I don't know. Do you think Icon's gonna do cars from the '80s? Maybe.
Everything progresses.
I think they were doing a Land Cruiser for Joe Rogan, like an '80s or '90s Land Cruiser for Joe Rogan. So what's a good place to put your money right now, buddy? In terms of buying cars, like what's on the hot list?
Well, I could chicken out and say, just get what you love, get what you want to drive.
Well, that's the answer if you want to drive. What about if you want to make money?
The stuff that's been hot the last few years and then has come back down is never going to go all the way back where it was.
Right.
So if you look at, 70s and 80s, 930s, they will always have value and they're going to creep back up. They probably won't go back up the way they did pre-September 2015. And that 330 GTC, stuff like that.
Yeah,
there's only so many of them.
How about if you don't have $500,000? What if you've got 50 or 60 grand?
You already did the right thing.
What, the SL? Or
yeah,
your
the
SL. G-body?
Those are going to turn the corner. They're starting to go the other direction now.
Nice.
So just sit on the damn thing.
Oh, GTOs?
Well,
are Ferrari GTOs or Pontiac GTOs?
No, her GTO.
Your GTO? Oh, you just want to pump the market a little bit? GTOs are hot.
Her daily is an 05 GTO. It's got
we talked about that on the last show, and then my friend Bozy, who analyzes markets as well, showed the curve on the GTO, and I'm sorry to say, Rhonda, it's not looking good. You should drive that car until the wheels fall off.
Well, Haggerty said one thing. It doesn't matter if it's going up or not. She's miling it out. So
yeah, there you go.
Because she needed 400 horse to go to Walmart.
I agree.
Yeah,
I have that much to do the same thing.
Yeah. What
about Mr. McNeil and his $70 million Ferrari GTO?
God, can you get over that?
Can I get over it?
That's just staggering.
It's awesome.
I read the history on that thing. They said it's never been damaged.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
Right? The last one that wasn't fucked up.
Well, it's in its original livery. It came silver with yellow, so
it does look good. It is a pretty color.
It does look
Some
good.
of the colors I saw the pictures from that all GTO cruise they went on.
Yeah.
In like Lake Como or wherever the hell it was. Some of them things are not good looking colors. There's like a cream over blue one that's like
you're kidding.
Yeah, there's a couple that are not. Can you Google pictures of the Ferrari GTO Rally? Because there's a couple colors that are just really weird, but that silver with yellow trim is fine.
No, that looked really good.
Yeah, silver. I mean, I think it was a 250 short wheelbase at Pebble a year or two ago in silver that really looked nice.
I bet. I completely dodged you on the Corvette thing.
What was that?
You asked me about the car.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Well, if Tim finds the picture of the GTO rally,
I'll give you the quick version. It was a high school graduation gift.
Oh,
I got a truckload of speed
for you.
Yeah,
from your folks.
From my dad.
How about that?
Well, I helped him find the car a few years before. He wanted one close to his high school graduation year, which was 61. And he had it in a plane hangar, and I was supposed to go find a new car because I had destroyed the car I had in high school. And also,
as you do,
had gotten a truckload of speeding tickets and not told him about them.
Okay.
And so I find the car. I was looking at RX-7 GTUs, which were, I think, first or second year of the second generation RX-7. Stripped down, had nothing in them. No AC, no power, anything. And I thought, okay, cool, it's light. I'll be able to go out and have a bunch of fun in it. And I came back and I told him what I was looking at. And he called our insurance guy, and the insurance guy started laughing at him over the phone. He said, for what it's going to cost to insure the kid on this, he may as well be driving a Corvette.
Okay.
And so for Dad, light bulb goes off. He says,
I've got one of those.
I can save $15,000. And he says, hey, kid, how would you like to drive that car? How'd you like to drive that Corvette? And I said, hell yes.
And where was this? This is in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Year round?
Well,
high school Corvette?
I had a clapped out Camaro, and a Jeep pickup.
You had a winter beater?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was a nice car when he gave it to me. I turned it into a beater. But anyway, he gave me that. I got out of high school on a plea bargain. It was so close you couldn't even believe it. So
doesn't matter now. That's the good news.
No, doesn't matter now. But
now you're a well-adjusted human being.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Knows about barbecue.
A little bit. But anyway, that's how I wound up having that car, and I just, every time I drove it, just felt like I was the coolest guy ever. And I never lost that feeling. The thing still makes me feel like king stud of the universe every time I get in it.
Is it original-ish?
Yeah. No, it's all numbers and date codes. Everything's
wow.
there. I've got all 5 original wheels and tires for it. The spares in the trunk, never been in service, still got the rubber hairs on it.
Wow. That's awesome. That's a keeper.
Yeah, it's a fun old car. But
do you drive it much?
Yeah. Yeah,
Lovely.
I do. Had 32,000 on it when I got it. It's got 53 on it now. So I've managed to put 21,000 on it. For years and years, I let it sit, and then kind of dawned on me, what the hell am I saving it for? I'm never selling this, so I may as well enjoy it.
Yeah, totally reasonable decision. Do you fit in it? Small car.
Yeah, it's. I was a lot smaller when I got it.
That's a problem I've always had with the first C1 Corvettes, is they're tough to get in.
Yeah, and as tall as you are, you'd be looking over the windshield.
That too. I drove Art Morrison's.
Yeah,
he had the one that was in Gran Turismo. It was just so amazing.
The silver and
God, I was not that good at driving when I drove it. I would love a chance to do it again.
Yeah.
With the skills I have now, which are only mild, but they're way better than they were in 2010. And it was such a beautiful car, and it was
stock. You could
very fast.
Stock, you can outdrive them in a heartbeat. That's underneath. It's a 46 Chevy on bias plies. It's
never really thought about. Yeah, the
there's not much tone. It's a solid axle. It's no joke. It's sitting on bias ply tires, and they're 5 inches wide.
It's probably fun.
It's it'll scare the hell out of you if you go out and run it a little bit.
Do you not run those like modern tires that are radial that look like bias plies?
No, and it's kind of the slow car fast thing. But we've got the if you go back
tan
to
GTO.
Oh, look at that.
Tim found show the tan at the up top. Yeah, that was it.
That's green.
It's green.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's tan to us.
It looks tan to us. We're colorblind.
Where are the
give me the
sunglasses?
Enchromas.
They're right behind.
Wait, hang on. Pull up the. All right, hang on. Brett brought Enchroma sunglasses, and people have been wanting me to try them for so long. So that is supposed to be green.
And without sunlight, it's going to look like garbage.
Yeah, these fucking things.
Yeah, outside they're a lot better.
Yeah, I put them on outside. If it makes it looks like the Instagram filter, the Instagram enhanced filter. When you just click that thing and move the slider up, that's what it looks like. That's makes life look like
that's
that.
tan, dude.
I'm telling you, that's tan.
All right,
whatever.
We're gonna have to enlist the help of the comments section here.
All right,
what color
comments.
is? What
we
color
open the polls.
I fucked it up.
What color is
go.
this? I think that is tan. And with the blue seats, because they all have the blue cloth seats, like that's a really ugly combo.
That's fucking green.
Is this like the dress? This is like our version of this dress. Is it black or gold or whatever it was?
Yeah, it was neither.
What color was the dress?
Is the wife colorblind?
Are you Ron? Are you colorblind? Come over.
No.
Take a look.
She has to
take a look.
Hey,
What do you think?
Justin, pop through the curtain. Tell me what you think here.
Green. Non-colorblind person says green.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I have to
your head
let
in right here.
Studio
What color is
audience,
that?
what do you think, Justin?
That's mint. That's green.
Green.
That's
mint
green, baby.
You know, actually,
It's just you and me, dude.
One of the things of my colorblindness, thank you, Justin, is that I can't see like seafoam teal green.
Yeah.
There's a woman named Diane Warren who's like a songwriter. She's like, I think she like almost. She's like she gets nominated for Grammys every year and doesn't win. I think that's her thing, and she's been nominated for like a million.
Susan Lucci of the music world.
Yeah, exactly. And she drives a stunning AMG GTC. I see her in Malibu. She hangs out at the same restaurant as me, and I thought it was white. And someone was like, "What do you think about Diane's car? What do you think about the color?" I'm like, "Fuck you talking about? It's pearl white." And they're like, "No, it's seafoam green." And I was like, "What?" And I walked over and like once I got really close and it came in my head.
Yeah.
I could see it, but
But without that prompt.
No, not unprompted.
Yeah.
Not at all. That's what colorblindness is like.
Yeah.
You can actually your brain can actually, if someone tells you
Little mini binder clips.
Uh-huh.
And pieces of paper and write blue, clip it to the socks.
Oh, you're
put 'em
really
away.
that- you're that
Black,
bad?
Clip them to the socks. But yeah, I don't have a clue.
I'm not that bad. And I've set up my wardrobe where it's completely colorblind proof.
Are you kidding me?
Everything from the top rack goes with everything on the bottom rack. It's absolutely foolproof now.
I don't even do that. It's khakis and a denim shirt. Shit. That's as close as I'm going to get.
What did the audience say? Green or gray?
They said green all day.
They all say green?
One
All
guy
right.
even gave us money to say green.
Is it that same guy?
Well,
no, he actually said that they wouldn't let him give any more money.
Like, really?
They told him that was too much.
Wow. Really?
Like, I guess 10 times is all you can chime in.
All right.
Yeah,
So I
but
guess
10 times at $20. What a stud.
Oh, it's great. No, thank you. But I guess we've learned now that if you are going to just make donations, just make one big one because it will stop you from making it probably seems fraudulent to whatever credit card you have connected to the system, frankly. If I was the system, I'd be like, shut this motherfucker down. He's gonna, even if that is him, he's going to regret this.
You hear a supervisor later, you let him hit it 73 times for the same amount?
What about when the third machines went off? You didn't know when the third machine? At the third machine, you didn't know. Are you stupid or are you in on it?
That's why you're fired.
I like casino a lot. What are the people saying, Tim? You probably have some questions.
No, our timer reset over here, so I asked him if we had a skip and if everything was cool.
That's
so.
weird as fuck. What are they? No, what is the super chat situation? What's up? You did
We were back to what should you be buying?
Oh yeah, okay.
The SL I think is a solid bet.
Okay, R129 SLs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second gen Camaros have been kind of funky of late.
Really?
Yeah, some. I think it's the pre-74 when you still had chrome bumpers and everything.
Nothing to do with emissions in California at all.
Yeah, no.
Are muscle cars going to come back? Leonard, muscle cars can't come
No,
back.
and I think what we're going to... Yeah, what it is whatever was cool when you were in high school and you didn't have money to buy.
Yeah, obviously.
And so that's where we're seeing the evolution. You know, it used to be 57 Tri-5 Chevys and early muscle cars and stuff like that, but not so much now unless they do resto mods.
What's weird is when I went to Barrett Jackson, and I talked about this with Larry Webster from Haggerty, is I was expecting secondhand pro touring builds to be in the toilet, and they seemed very strong.
Yeah.
Is that because people are buying to drive instead of buying to collect? Or why, like...
It's certainly why I bought mine.
Yeah?
Yeah, that 61 Impala in the picture is a built 409 dual quad, 4-speed, modern suspension, vintage air, all that stuff. And it looks and sounds really cool, and it rides decent. And the weirdest thing, first time I was on a highway and I threw it into a cloverleaf, it was flat.
Yeah.
In a 61 Impala. It's got an acre of hood and an acre of trunk, and the thing went around a corner. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, it's just... It's
drivability is good.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I drove Art and Craig Nomad's Chevy 510. Does that sound right? 210?
210.
What's right before a Bel Air? 210. A 210.
150, 210 Bel Air.
Yeah, okay, 210, yeah. And it was like a full chassis, kind of build. And I was like mobbing in it. And I was like, what is this? This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And some of these guys who build, I've driven a couple like... what are they? AMC Rambler wagons with like big LS motors.
No
and
kidding.
Tons of subframe connection and really good handling car.
And that's weird. That's something else that looks like it's starting to come a little bit now is wagons.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Wagons are always cool.
Well,
to us,
if you got something that's a hot rod and you can throw some junk in the back and go.
To people in their 30s and early 40s, wagons are very cool.
Especially if you got kids.
Especially because we grew up in wagons. My mom had wagons, and so if I could have a fast version of the wagon, I'm about. I just had the E63 as a press car wagon. It was a bitchin'. Hell yeah, it was great.
So is DeMuro lying, or are they really that cool?
No, they're really that cool.
Oh, cool.
DeMuro's not lying.
All right.
I love Doug. I think Doug is hysterical. He makes me not a lot of people make me laugh like Doug does.
Really?
Yeah, he's very funny.
I'm impressed. I'll compliment you both here. Doug seems to hustle a ton.
Oh my God, does he? Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah, he earns his money.
The other thing is, I got 12 years on you. I'm really impressed with what you've done.
Oh, thanks, man.
And just the last few years, and it's been
Universe Rewards hustle.
Yeah. Yeah, you have not been sitting still.
No, I try to keep it moving.
Yeah,
you got it, and the world doesn't. The world won't wait for you.
You've accomplished so much. It's really impressive.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Did you see my hole? You should see my hole.
Your hole?
Yeah, I dug. We dug a big fucking hole right over here. Honestly, I'm building a collector car storage facility, and we have a hole.
Are you really?
Yeah. This is my internet safety net.
Okay,
plan.
we're going.
There's it's a big hole over there. It's like 15 feet deep. But get this, the dirt is wet. It's too wet. It's the problem with here. The dirt is too wet. It's from groundwater. Yeah. And because we're really close to the beach. It's true. It's wet. And so they literally, for 5 days, have had this huge pile of dirt that they stir to one side of the hole and then stir it back to the other side of the hole. And they stir it.
Just trying to get
by the end of the day, it's dry enough that they can take like 3 or 4 trucks of it away. And then it sits overnight and it gets dewy and wet again. And they have to do it again all day.
You're kidding.
Yeah, because the dumps won't take wet dirt. Because it's, I don't know, there's something about, and so.
That's really odd.
Yeah. And so we're just burning days. Just there's a guy in there with a fucking excavator just stirring this pile of dirt for days and days and days.
Okay. As a guy who came from a construction background, how many square feet?
13,000 square feet.
That's a good size.
But with a subterranean, and then it's 41 feet tall.
That's a good size.
It's a big building.
Yeah,
it's a big building. And we have the first indoor 4-high stacking system in Los Angeles. And the first 4-high over subterranean globally, and we're going to do 150 cars in there.
No kidding.
In 13,000 square feet. Fuck yeah, son. Matt at thesmokingtire.com if you want to get the list.
I am coming back for that. I want to see
that.
Yeah,
when it opens, it's going to be real. I'm getting I'm having them make a a 3D, like a fly-through kind of thing. But rather than having like an artist make it, I asked the architects to make it. So it's like exact, and I don't know how to be like, guys, I don't give a shit if it's exact. And they're like, but we just got the specs for the new front planters, and I'm like, just take a squiggle and do this.
They don't work that way.
I know. They need to be like, what are the dimensions of the shrubbery?
Yeah.
And they're so exact. They're like, what cars do you want to put on the racks? So I'm like, I don't know, European sports cars and a couple muscle cars and whatever. And they're like, okay, but what about this? I'm like, yeah, just get cars. Like, I don't give a shit. Just show cars. And they're like, but what about SUVs? Do you want to show SUVs? I was like, just get cars. Who cares? Get cars. And they're like, what about?
These are the guys who had the Matchbox storage boxes, and they put all the cars were very specifically segregated.
Yeah. Yeah,
you can't put that there. It doesn't go
play
there.
With you. Did you have a big model car collection?
Model cars and Matchbox cars, Hot
trains.
Wheels, tons of.
Did you do trains?
Didn't do trains. Just
trains are a unique breed, I think.
Lots of Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hot Wheels is right here.
Oh, you're
Hot
killing
Wheels
me,
is like
Smalls.
it's in Mattel's too. Yeah, my fiance worked at Mattel her whole career.
That's incredible.
Up until like 2 years ago. Yeah.
All right.
And we had Tanner in here in this chair talking about he was like the Hot Wheels test driver.
I have to reschedule my flight home.
We have a close relationship with Hot Wheels.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's local. You're in Hot Wheels Central.
You're killing me.
Oh my God, you're killing me. Let's see what the folks have to say. Oh, check this out. Daniel wants to know, have we seen the new 911 Speedster concept that dropped today? Can you discuss the future, what did it say?
Collectability.
Conductibility. And
is what he
best
said,
way
but
to get one without a huge premium. Well.
Wait till it's 20 years old?
Yeah, this is the new Speedster. Yeah, minimum cool, 20. And
gangster.
It's a 2-seater. It's got the tonneau cover over where the back seat was. It has the GT3 engine, which is great.
Ooh.
Typically, they go back up, Tim. Is the windshield chopped? I can't really tell. Usually, the windshield is chopped.
Could be the cow that's making it look that way.
Yeah.
Usually, the windshield's chopped, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not in this case for homologation reasons.
Well, and I'm wondering if there would be something with safety.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When they do those rebodied coach-built Ferraris, they have to keep all the glass the same.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised. Wow, is that really that's a concept? They can't release it with that mirror.
There's no way.
There's no fucking way. Although I did see
that's very cool looking though.
On the picture, the fuel filler is right in the middle of the frunk, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if that'll. It's apparently pre-Magnus Walker painted as well. I don't know. What is his paint job? The front bumper is like chalk and the rest of it is silver.
That's very cool though.
I mean, it's really neat. I love 911 Speedsters. I think if I had all that money, I wouldn't buy a
89, 94.
I would buy a 964 Speedster if I had all the money. That's a great California car. They are so cool.
I'd love to have one.
But they don't. In the past, they haven't gotten an upgraded engine, right? They were Carrera engines in the past, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a turbo.
None of them got big motors. This one gets a GT3 motor, though. GT3 convertible. It's kind of pimp. Ooh. I like that.
Yeah.
2-seat GT3 convertible. I'm about it. I mean, all right, how would you get one without a huge premium? That's going to be
you wait.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, you got to already have. By the time a story like that hits road and track, the customers already know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've gone.
And every one of those will be pre-sold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've gone to some preview party and put down their money already. You know, or it's just phone calls. But like that shit is sold out. What's the cheap? I mean, did Speedsters ever get? They were always expensive.
They always had a premium on them, but they didn't. I remember watching those a few years back, probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were a little bit more expensive than a Carrera, still cheaper than a turbo.
Yeah.
And then when everything went bonkers, those went.
Because it just became a math problem with rarity, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've come down some, but you're still seeing them north of 150.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of jack.
A lot of money.
What is just a little neater looking Carrera ragtop.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So
I think my move would be to buy a GT3 Touring with a manual. That's where
definitely with a manual.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of GT3s, if I can drag you out to the auction tomorrow, there's the Pumpkin Twins. Black
the pumpkin. Oh yeah.
Black with orange trim and an orange with black trim.
997 RSs.
Sitting right next to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Are those super hot at the moment?
I think anything that says GT3 on it is always going to have, it's always going to have that demand and that desire behind it.
I'd love to buy a medium mileage one of those for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
I would love to. It's not going to happen, but I would love to.
Well, it's almost like the guy's question: how are you going to get one without a premium? You're not.
You're not. Yeah, you can. You got to make friends.
It's
you
one
got
of
to
those.
pull out the checkbook.
Yeah, it's clad in unobtainium. You're not going to get it cheap. It's not going to work that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it costs a ton to look cool.
It does. Looking cool has always been expensive.
Yeah. That's one of the things that made
60s.
That's one of. The car when I got it, it was a $35,000 car.
What the Corvette?
Yeah,
yeah.
And it found its stride along the way.
Yeah.
And now I couldn't part. I've had it for so long. It's been a part of my life.
No, now it's like family heirloom kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't get rid of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going.
Fortunately, you're not in a position where you have to.
No.
I don't know where my friend is going to get a Speedster for reasonable money. I've never seen one for sale for reasonable money.
I think if ever there was a time to do that, it's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to pony up that cash.
And if you were going to find one for reasonable money, it was probably, I'm guessing, mid-2008.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when somebody was in trouble, and those days are
correct.
Yeah,
the rich people are currently rich.
Yeah. And it looks like they're going to stay that way.
I think they're going to stay that way for a minute. Gregory wants to know, he heard Spike. So, do you know Spike Ferriston? You know who he is?
I know who he is. Yeah. I don't know him personally.
He's a Porsche guy, and me and him and his co-host on his podcast, Paul Zuckerman, went to Luftgegalt together.
Yeah.
So we got in his Alfa Romeo Giulietta, a 72 or 73 Alfa sedan. It was like a box.
Very cool.
Yeah. And Paul is just driving it like he hates it the whole way to look flat to the floor, like just cruising at like 6,000 RPM, not upshifting. Like, I was like, wow, you really are beating the shit out of this thing. It's like, yeah. All right. Halfway there, Spike realizes he doesn't have the tickets or the parking passes. I am aware that Luftgegalt is a complete shit show.
Yeah.
And that this is a problem. And he says, no, I'll just have my wife send me a text messages with photographs of the tickets. That'll work. We get to I'm like, it's not going to work. We get to the gate, and Spike wasn't particularly nice to the gatekeeper who was going to let us park.
Wait a second. This is the guy's ass you're supposed to kiss to make sure you get in with the picture of it.
I would have sweetened it with honey.
Yeah.
And he tried to catch his flies with vinegar. And he tried to pull he didn't use the words, "Do you know who I am?" He didn't use those words, but that's what he was implying.
But the vibe?
The gentleman did not. No, not only did he not know who we were, we were like, Spike was like, I'm going to call Patrick Long, who was running the show.
Yeah.
He didn't know who Patrick Long was. Motherfucker was a third-party contractor who was doing his job
And
to the letter of the law.
Could not care any less.
Nope. And oh, by the way, Paul Zuckerman was wearing a sailor hat. So Spike has gotten out of the car and is trying to do you know who I am, the guy who's having none of it.
Yeah.
Zuckerman is in the driver's seat going, I know how to fix this, and pulls out his wallet and starts counting out $50 bills. I go, I don't think that's going to work either.
No, this is kind of, and you're spitting in the guy's eye after.
And I go, why don't I call Pat? And so I think Spike, I don't know if it was me or Spike who ended up calling Pat, but Pat did actually come over. The guy didn't know who the fuck Pat was.
Yeah.
And we did get in, and it was extremely embarrassing.
Wow.
It was extremely embarrassing.
They had a guard at the lumberyard.
Yeah, and Spike later went back and apologized to the guard, and I think gave him some kind of a tip as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
But then on the way home, Spike's car broke down. Because karma is a motherfucker.
That's amazing.
Karma is a bitch. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
He earned it too. He earned that karma.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
shows.
Yeah, that's quick turnaround though. Usually it waits a little longer.
Yeah. Good story though now. Tips for following and driving camera car, like getting those sweet super close wide angle following shots. There's actually not that much of a science to it. The way we like to do it is to have two cameras, one mounted high and one mounted low. Your low one is a very wide angle, and your high one is a bit of a tighter angle.
Yeah.
And then you don't just follow at you have to get very close. Like, you have to be comfortable driving at speed a foot off of somebody's bumper. So if you're in the car in front, it's your job to drive incredibly predictably. If you're in the car in back, it's your job to look through the car in front of you
And try to see what's coming.
and see what's coming through that car, and almost drive as if that car isn't even there.
What's best camera car? Sport Ute, minivan?
The best camera car typically is a minivan if you're traveling and you need a crew vehicle, but the Fiesta ST was the best camera chase car that we ever had.
Okay.
Unless you're shooting backwards.
Well, chase car.
Well, we would mount the cameras. We would have a high tight and a low wide hard mounted on the back of the car with the triangulation kits, and then drive real fast, and you can cut between those two, and use you basically, like, instead of just staying at 3 feet distance, I would drop back and run up, and drop back and run up, and drop back and run up, and you would use the action of running up and stopping. It's like a run up and then and hold. That's your shot. So camera car is moving at 40 or 50. I would run up and then hold. That's the shot.
Do they teach this with a photography degree, or you got to figure it out on your own?
No, all you have to do is watch episodes of Top Gear and take very, very detailed notes. It's really not difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
But don't they often sit in an SUV?
Top Gear did because they have more money. But if you're
Exactly.
not doing that, you just like figure, like we used to do the crane thing off the back of the Raptor, but that was shady, and we found
Or the
this way
Forerunner with the back window.
Yeah, and
all
this
that.
way, if you're doing a road trip segment, that's different. Tim has a Forerunner, which is great because you can roll down the back window on the tailgate.
Yeah.
So you could set up a tripod. And like Forerunner's good, or a Range Rover or an X5 that has a clamshell.
Sure.
So you could set up sticks in the back and actually have a car-to-car shooter.
Does it help to have an SUV that's got a bit of performance to it? Range
matter.
Rover.
If
BMW.
if you're doing car-to-car canyon shots, if you actually want high-speed shooting. Typically, you don't actually need that, though. You don't need the camera car to be that fast.
A comment you made a while back, and something I wanted to ask you about. When you mount, you've said that you'll mount a 5D or 6D on a car.
Yeah.
And you said that you've shot a couple off of windshields, and
Yeah, we toasted 3 of them in a couple years. They weren't. It wasn't that big of a deal because we would buy 5Ds used on Craigslist, they count the age of a camera in like shutter counts.
Yeah.
So I'd buy cameras with like 150,000 shutter count.
Okay, so when it goes sailing off
For
into
like
the ditch,
for like $800, it doesn't matter. I'm not shooting stills. I don't give a fuck. It's video, so they'd be fine. I'd clean the sensors. I'd have them serviced, and I'd be into a 5D for like $1,100. Now it's not nothing.
No,
but it's a brand new 5D body.
One.
Yeah, and it was rare that they would sail off of cars, and every time they did, we learned like a thing not to do. So like the first time the car was dusty, the second time the paint was too hot and the suction didn't stay.
Yeah.
The third time we left it on for like 4 hours. You know, like we learned not to do each of those things in order to have a successful experience mounting the cameras. But yeah, I'm like at my house I've got one 5D body that's got a hole this big in the magnesium. I had another one where a lens cracked just sheer in half.
Wow.
Yeah, one flew off a Jaguar at like 140 miles an hour, and we got the shot. The shot survived, but the camera did not.
Kidding.
Yeah, one of them had a hole in the body and continued to function after that. Like the screen didn't work, but you could put a memory card and a battery in it and put a lens on it, and you could get a shot. And so for about 5 or 6 months, we would use that as like the crash cam. Like we had a shitty lens that was like a $75 nothing lens, and we would just stick that in all the really dangerous locations, and eventually it just died like a Terminator death. Like, but actually, in the last like 4 years, we haven't broken anything.
Well, yeah, but you've learned all your expensive lessons.
I have. Yeah.
So
I broke a couple cars, but
Well,
no cameras.
That happens.
And the GoPros are tough, and to use them, I use the same mounts I would have used on a 5D now for a GoPro. So it's just such such overkill. Yeah. Don't use the extension, the rod extensions, and high speed. Make sure your car is clean. Make sure the paint isn't too hot, and don't keep it on there for like hours.
Yeah.
That's my tips for not completely trashing your 5D that you've mounted on the side of a fucking car. I saw another question. Someone said, have I ever driven the Too Fast, Too Furious Skyline GTR? Is that the silver one, Tim,
it's
or the blue one?
Yeah.
No, I've driven 3 or 4 different R34 Skylines, but not that one.
The white one was dope. I almost threw up in the white one.
Paul's white one was fucking sweet. I wish I knew where those cars were.
Paul and I were doing the Roval at Fontana.
Yeah.
And a few laps into it, I was like, pull over, dude. He was like, I can't pull over. I was like, pull over, dude.
He's like, we're on a track. That car was awesome. Those white Skyline and the white Sylvia, I like those cars very much.
Wonderful.
I don't know Skylines well enough to tell you which one it is, but there is a white Skyline carbon fiber hood at Russo and Steel right-hand drive.
They're all right-hand drive.
Okay. Yeah. Well, right-hand drive, no passenger seat, got it inside.
That's a race car. 3 generations of Skylines. R32, 33, 34 are the main ones.
Yeah.
32s are the lightest. 33s are sort of unloved, but pretty nice to drive, actually. 34s are the very well-known.
I'm not overly familiar with them, but I know what it is when I see it drive by.
They drive fucking awesome. That's the main virtue. That's honestly the biggest takeaway I get from Skylines is that they really drive well.
Well, and as is typical for car auctions, you'll see something.
Oh, there it is. Tim found it.
Yeah,
and
that's sitting right
next to that. Actual race car. That's an R34
right
race
next
car.
To that 330
what does the
GTC.
description say there? Can you punch into? 1 of 12 Nissan Skyline V-Spec N1 cars built by Nismo. Wow, originally built by Nismo for the Super Tiaku. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm fucking up. Racing series. Olin suspension. All right. Highcast 4-wheel steering. A Tessa T5 Pro all-wheel drive. Top secret carbon fiber hood. Twin turbo making how much power?
It's an RB26, 540 wheel horsepower.
Hell yeah!
Torque.
And that's sitting
21,000 kilometers. Oh, dude!
And that's sitting next to that 330 GTC.
Wow, it's gonna be it's sold on bill of sale, so that's gonna be a problem. I mean, I don't know how many people want those race cars, but that is the tits. R34 N1 race car. Oh my God, I love it. That's kind of I have no idea what the market is. Like if you could get like a Motor X, a federalized street legal R34, of which there's like maybe 20 of them, maybe, is like $150,000 right now. Because it's newer than 25 years. It's not 25 years old, but a couple of them are legal.
Well, the 32s
are fine.
Yeah.
32s are like 25 to 45 grand for a good one.
Yeah.
These are like 150 grand if you can find one that's legal to drive in the U.S. But I don't know what a race car is worth.
Come out with me tomorrow.
I'd love to. I'd love to. If I didn't have to, I'm going to Europe for fucking 10 days tomorrow night. I don't exactly have a lot of free time right now. But I wish I knew about this. God damn it. I would. I really would.
Besides, you enjoy the way Russo runs stuff.
I love auctions. And I love Russo and Steele. I think if Russo and Steele is a good time. I really do. It's not a not wanting to go. It's not a not wanting to do anything. It's like I got fucking shit to do.
Here's a wild thing about being there yesterday and watching them get set up and get cars checked in and all that crap. Drew Alcazar, the owner, is out there moving cars around all day long.
Yeah.
What other
operation?
What other auction do you see that happen?
Not a lot.
Not any that I've been to.
I don't.
You're not going to see Craig Jackson pulling cars into his tent.
No, you're not. Unless it's his own. Unless he has to buy them and they're going to his own garage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of the personalities, so that's not necessarily. I mean, Craig Jackson, but it's not necessarily something I would witness. I've seen some great auctioneering in the last year. Some like really funny, witty, quick auctioneering.
And some of their guys out there are just they are born to do that.
Oh my God, I'd love to get an auctioneer on this show. Are there any that live in LA? Do you know of any auctioneers living in LA?
I don't know. I could ask.
If you're an auctioneer or know an auctioneer, please, I'd love to. Because especially when I was at like in Scottsdale, I'd go from like Gooding, where it's very so lot
very buttoned down.
342 is 1931 Packard. To go from that to Russo,
which is kind of like a party with cars.
Yeah. You're like, whoa, where the fuck am I? You see a guy with a yard of beer.
Yeah. Well, I always love the idea of getting a bidder's pass and it's got 20 punches for the bar.
Yeah.
You guys aren't even trying to hide it.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic.
No,
I always recommend getting a bidder's pass instead of a media pass to an auction. Even if you can't buy anything super expensive, just get the bidder's pass because they treat you way better than they treat the media.
I've been really, really lucky. People have been genuinely good to me.
I don't mean they treat you badly. I just mean you get to sit up front instead of in the pen in the back.
We're standing at the bar yesterday getting a beer. And every time I cover Russo, I make sure that I stick my face in front of Drew for a second and say, hey, thanks for having us. I appreciate it. And we're standing there getting a beer. Drew comes up behind us, damn near tackles Rhonda and I, tells the bartender, they drink free all weekend, and then walks off.
There you go.
And I was like, he didn't have to do that, but he's really super nice to us. And he doesn't have to be, but he is. And I really appreciate that. That was cool.
Unaware of what we drink.
Unaware of what you drink?
Yeah, well, I turned to the bartender and I said...
Sambuca for my friend. All the Sambuca he can drink.
I had to tell the bartender my liver recently filed for separate maintenance. Set him up. So,
oh, man.
But it's... Russo and Steele is kind of like a party where the cars showed up. Barrett Jackson is just the biggest circus anywhere.
Barrett was crazy.
It is.
I really enjoyed my day at Barrett Jackson. And just walking through the flea market on the side.
Well, yeah, there's so much other crap going on.
Dude, I bought 3 bamboo pillows and a set of bamboo sheets at Barrett Jackson. I swear to God, that's what I bought at Barrett Jackson.
But the fact that you could buy that there.
Yeah, well, I could have spent a bunch of money there. I almost got some cowboy boots. I almost got a custom-made Stetson.
Oh, and they've got artwork carved out of like moose antlers and all kinds of weird
huge range of artwork, from the mildly terrible to the very terrible.
To the
I saw someone
how did you even think of that?
I saw someone selling Rolexes that he claimed were like one owner, like basically the barn find equivalent of like original Rolexes, and on the other side of his same booth, the same guy was selling fake vintage bezels for Rolexes. On the other side of the fucking booth, I was like, "Are you shitting me?" So crazy.
You're not fooling anybody.
And there was a guy selling turbine powered fan boats. Oh yeah, because a regular fan boat. What states are fan boats even legal in?
Well,
Florida,
Florida,
exactly.
Louisiana, maybe.
Yeah.
And what do they burn? Like Jet A?
I think a turbine would burn anything.
Kerosene?
Jay Leno says a turbine will burn anything you give it.
Well, yeah.
He should know. He started one. He has one.
Yeah, he's got that 64 Chrysler.
Yeah, that he's
And a
apparently
motorcycle.
the motorcycle and the Chrysler. But he said he bought the Chrysler at auction, I guess, when they filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And it had never been titled, so he's the only owner. It's a one owner. He's the first owner.
It was open?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. I
He
didn't know
titled
that.
it. It's got a plate on it. He drives on the street.
Well, I knew that he drove it. I just didn't realize it was open. It had never
been titled.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a lucky break, huh?
That's very
Go
cool.
another water. I'm dying. Someone, thank you for donating to tell me that it's puke green. Oh, and someone says the mask. And then others say
I
that,
still maintain it's tan. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
I don't know. Well, here's the question: does it being puke green make it better or worse looking than if it were tan? I don't think it's an improvement to know it's puke green.
I don't
It's
know.
like
Tan,
a
tan and blue
seafoam.
kind of goes, doesn't
If it's
it?
actually seafoam, that's
Yeah.
good, but I can't see it if it is. And Paul says that some people would mass donate like 1 cent on Twitch streams, and that's why it doesn't let you do mass donations anymore. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Paul. Here's a legitimate car question. I can either get a base C6 Corvette in the mid 20,000 range with around 50,000 miles, or
5th Gen Z06.
or I can get a newer 370Z for the same price. I would. I'd get the Corvette and plan to change the seats, and then your problem is solved.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
it. 370Zs, like, they're kind of pigs. Like, they're heavy. They're not very fast.
No, and when are you going to? I mean, do you ever see the 370s? Well, I'm not sure that I could say 6th Gen Corvettes are going to be a collector's item either.
No, I don't think they are. But you can take the roof off. They have bigger trunks.
If
they
it
ride
is, it'll
better.
be after we're on the ground.
Yeah. I'd see if you can find an LS3 powered Corvette for that. Got to be an 08 and up.
Yeah.
Then I would go with the Corvette, probably. Someone came in here recently had a 370Z press car, a brand new 370Z press car, and it was a total stripper, and it was under $30,000. It had like it had like air conditioning and power door locks.
You can get a Z under 30 grand?
Apparently you can. Still. Right now.
No AC, no power brakes?
No. It has all those things. But when I say nothing, it's like a shitty radio, no keyless entry, no keyless go, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but if you're talking under
air
30
conditioning
grand.
and it has those things. Power. It doesn't have like the powertrain is the same. Yeah.
Unless the stereo is astounding, you're probably going to swap it out anyway. So
I don't know if you can. It's one of them built into the Dashy deals.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to Crutchfield.
You can't go to
and find,
Crutchfield. No.
Yeah.
That's the problem with new cars. I have my old cars. I love.
Yeah.
I'm all about Clarion hooks it up. I got all this Clarion shit. It's great. I like it.
I saw it.
It's great. It made my SL bumps like 1,200 watts in that bitch.
Sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
Does
Sitting
Clarion
still.
want to be in a 4Runner by chance?
Sure. They
Are you
do.
listening, Clarion?
The Clarion builds. We could do a 4Runner with Clarion builds. They've done they did a 850 BMW. They did a Legend. They did a fucking...
The Legend was sick at Radwood.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The 2-door Legend.
Yeah.
It's one of 3 decent ones left.
Yeah, it was a 2-door manual transmission Legend. It was awesome. So cool.
One of those
I would
went
get
through,
the Corvette, sir.
One of those 2-door manual transmission Legend went through eBay not long ago.
Uh-huh.
And memory serves, it was that kind of tan sand metallic.
Yeah. It's called Jewish Racing Gold.
A.K.A. Green.
It's tan.
Oh, I want to look at some auction. I got some auction results. Here we go. E36 M3, 1997 M3 Coupe, 44,000 miles, no sale at 19,000. Whereas a 2001 Z8 convertible was a sale at 171,000.
That sounds low. I thought they were in the
Oh,
twos.
Jesus. 1990 Lamborghini LM002 SUV.
Rambo
Lambo sold for $368,000 at RM auctions.
Wow.
What?
That's recent that they've done that.
Whoa. Someone saw the Urus and went, hang on a minute.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here we go. Bentley Brooklyn's Coupe. 136 grand. That's well bought. I like those things. This is a cool. I love it. Oh, here we go. 1986 Ford RS 200 Coupe.
That's you.
Ooh. That is me.
Yeah, that's you.
4,000 kilometers. Right-hand drive. Quote, only 250 horsepower.
Which sale?
Rear window seal is better than most. This was in the UK, and it was sold
Is that a Bonhams?
for H&H auctioneers.
All right.
208,000. I think that's well bought. I think for 208,000, that's well bought.
It is. I mean, how many examples are laying around?
Not many. I
No.
think they only made a couple hundred of those, right?
Yeah.
If that, a couple
Yeah.
hundred, maybe.
And you got to wonder how many of them have been so thrashed.
Yeah, I
that-
mean competition cars, right?
Of course.
Yeah. I fucking love Sports Car Market because Sports Car Market gives you this post-auction analysis. This is what you do?
Yeah. And
You wrate this, so
Yeah,
here's
if
the
you-
E36 M3.
if you find the Mecum KC in there, that's the one
this
I'm
is you?
That's me this month.
Mecum Auctions, Kansas City.
That's me.
Oh my God, a Bricklin SV1. Here we go.
Oh, and here's the awful thing.
Okay, it's a 75.
Yeah.
It has 2,200 miles on it.
And that was a repeat there. It had boomeranged from a previous Mecum KC auction.
Okay. So it says it's a no sale at 20,000.
Yeah, that's not how that worked out. I know the guy who took that home.
Huh. So
He's
sold
starting
after
a
the
car.
fact?
He's starting a car museum in Manhattan, Kansas, not New York. And he bought that thing and took it home along with some others. And that's, sorry.
No, it's my phone.
Bricklin only had a handful of colors, and the color on that one is called Safety Suntan, and it's awful.
It's the orange.
No, they had an orange that was an orange
Wait.
called Safety Orange.
Oh.
That's lighter than the orange, and it's just
Oh, this picture doesn't do it justice.
no,
it's not
and
the
it's
orange.
unfortunate because I took that picture.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But what I like about the magazine, so it says, sold at 20,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say not sold?
You did say not.
Oh, no, this says sold here.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's
And
okay.
and then the commentary, in addition to bringing Subaru and Yugo to the U.S., Malcolm Bricklin was responsible for the car that bears his name. Only 2,854 SV1s were ever built, and this is one of the lowest mileage examples anywhere.
2,200 miles on it.
Pretty low. It has obviously been kept inside and cared for. That's actually, it's a good description. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not necessarily so unique to this car, right? Let me see.
But the thing that I run into when I'm doing car descriptions is, and you'll be able to appreciate this.
I randomly chose that one.
If you own your own car, if you own collector cars, and then you go look at auctions, while you're picking these cars apart, you're thinking, this belongs to somebody, and I wouldn't want that guy standing over my car. So I try to be accurate about it without being too scathing.
Yeah.
There are, hey,
This one is a total shitbox.
Can you pull up, just Google Ice Princess Studebaker?
Here's a good example of what I'm talking about. For a yellow 308 Ferrari, no sale at 50,000.
Yeah.
A nice change of pace from the ubiquitous Rosso Corsa. This fly yellow had great eye appeal, given the meteoric rise of Ferrari prices over the past 5 years, particularly the 308 and 328. The high bid here was well below book. So that it's just like. It's not like no sale at 50,000. It's like, what is that relative to the market? Should have been sold.
That was a pretty car, and it was in pretty decent shape. This is yours. Don't
That's
give
mine.
that back
I'm
to me.
going to keep this. I'm not
Keep that. There you go. That was it.
my
That was at
God.
Russo Scottsdale. And
Designed by Tyrrell.
Looks like Homer Simpson's car.
Would you like to describe what we're looking at here for the audio-only audience?
It's okay. I can remember my market commentary verbatim.
Let's go.
Okay. More ugly on this car than a Rolling Stones group photo. Think Timothy Leary meets the Jetsons. The interior is a gold vinyl alligator print or alligator texture.
In a much more literal sense, what we're looking at is a car with two front axles
And
one rear axle, and like Cadillac fins, jet fighter canopy, individual bubbles.
Well, in the fins, he had 3 exhaust pipes per side coming out the back of the fins. And it's it's a light blue pearlescent, and it's just
super hideous.
Yeah, it is.
Did that sell?
I said the interior. Yeah, it sold for $39,000, and I said the interior looked like it had been done by Elvis and Liberace's Love Child. It was just
extremely ugly,
awful. It got a lot of attention, but it got that attention because it was so bad. They said it would drive. I don't know that it had ever been tagged. The thing was 7 feet longer than a Suburban. It was huge. And I said in the commentary, forget driving it, because when you get anywhere, there's no way you can park it.
Yeah. That's so ugly. I love shit like this. This is like the Jetsons era.
Yeah. Except the guy built that in the mid-'80s.
Oh. It was a Jetsons era throwback.
Yeah.
Is that the motor? It's like some fucking ugly 350 V8.
Yeah, it's a giant caddy motor. It's not
Throw
a
some chrome valve covers on there, buddy. Be all right.
Yeah, it's okay. Dress it right up. Dress it right up. You'll be just fine.
It's like chrome valve covers on the rustiest, dirtiest, nothing motor.
Well, and again, it was at Scottsdale, and it's got those plexiglass canopies over the seats, and you're thinking,
so hot.
What if you drive in that on a sunny day? It's 85 degrees out. That thing turns into a magnifying glass. It's just cooking you while you're driving it.
What that looks really terrible. Are Countach's leveling off yet? Are they still crazy?
They've seen a little dip. They're coming back down. Coming back down. I'm seeing them now in the low 3s and getting into the high 2s. You remember for a little while we were seeing them upper 4s, and I even saw a couple that were asking $500,000.
Yes. For
a car that, you go back 10 years and you're looking at them, they were in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. I don't. I saw them. They were 85 to 100,000 for a decade and a half.
Yeah,
and then overnight it was 500.
Yeah, and they languished there. They didn't go anywhere. And then when we started to see the market come back, and everything got crazy, Countach's got weirder than anything else. And
is it because people started driving them and decided they didn't like them anymore?
I can't imagine why you would drive it, especially for guys like you and I. We don't fit in them.
Yeah, I can drive one without shoes on. I've done it before.
Well,
I had a distilled essence of Countach experience.
When you did
I did a video, and the car was flatbedded across town,
Yeah.
dropped off at the base of the canyons. I went up and down the canyons for 4 hours, and then a flatbed came and took it home. So I didn't have to slog it across the city.
Do you have a fond memory of that now? Was that cool?
It was fucking glorious. Oh, it was glorious. I mean, honestly, the Countach drove so well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. It drove. This was an 85 QV. It was a QV, fender flares, wing, no ugly skirts. No anniversary skirts.
Yeah, lots prettier.
Lots prettier. And it had very light steering. It was very direct. The brakes were good. I liked, once the gearbox was warm, I liked the action of the shifter very much. I really liked how it drove a lot. I thought it was great.
What about back-to-back with the Aventador?
Yeah, that's the next.
Yeah, I mean, the Aventador, you could feel the lineage, but the Aventador, because it was the new thing, you'd be like complaining about its at the limit behavior, which wasn't very good. But the Countach, because it was old, it's a 7 or 8 tenths car. You're not going for the 10 tenths.
Did it still have that visceral feel?
Oh my God,
you could feel everything going on and all the mechanical stuff.
The Countach was great. It was. I mean, getting in and out of it sucked, but the actual driving it on that road, driving it was absolutely spectacular.
I think that's kind of that is what I like of the old stuff. Again, the slow car fast.
Yeah.
Versus newer stuff that clearly performs so much better. But when you're driving the old stuff, you feel like you're really driving it. You're really involved with it.
I completely agree. And you can get that with new stuff too, but the problem with the new stuff is that you really, really have to be going fast.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a good place to do that, or you're not comfortable doing that, the cars aren't as fun.
No, they're not. Yeah. I think I had that really solidified for me a couple years ago. We'd gone to cover an auction and show in Vail in September.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. And we hauled the Corvette out there, and we were driving that around. And one afternoon, we went and got just lost as hell driving up through the mountains and through a couple of national parks, and it was a blast. We didn't care where we were until we started to run out of gas.
Yeah.
Threw some gas in it, had to drive back down to Copper Mountain and get on 70 to go back to Vail. And we're going back, and I-70 through the mountains is 75 miles an hour, so everybody's doing 80, 85, and we're in that car, and like I said, bias ply tires and all that garbage, and you're driving, you're doing 80, and you feel like you're really involved, and you're really sawing at it and trying to keep it in your lane and watching everything that's going on, and you feel like I'm really killing it.
Yeah.
And I looked over, and a lady passed us in a Mazda SUV drinking coffee, and couldn't look more bored.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what cemented it in my mind, old slow car fast versus modern stuff. And again, she wasn't driving anything. She wasn't driving a Ferrari or a GTR or anything. She's driving a minivan.
Yeah, we have who's it? Jack Baruth wrote an article recently that was basically about how pickup trucks are much more likely to be speeding, and I read a book called Traffic that was one of the chapters was about the everyone wants this higher driving position, but the higher driving position results in a completely changed perception of speed, and so people just naturally defer to going much faster when they are at a higher driving position.
Yeah,
than compared to laying on the ground.
Well, and then along with that, the trucks keep getting taller and taller and taller.
Yeah.
The old Bronco has a 4-inch lift and sits on 33s. 33s. I pull up next to a stock Chevy 4-wheel drive pickup, and it's taller than the Bronco is.
Oh, dude, the new Raptor is so huge. It's so huge. It does. Really? There's not even a prayer of that thing fitting in my garage.
Yeah.
Like, I can't test the new Raptor. I don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, it's over 7 foot tall.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it is interesting to see how things have changed, and if you own older stuff and you drive it with any frequency, you see that comparison real easily. And I love that visceral feeling. It's cool that it was still in the Countach even that late.
Yeah.
But
I'd probably, if I had to drive the Countach back all the way home,
you probably
and I had to sit in a 3-hour traffic jam with it, I'd probably fucking hate it.
Well, and that's the comment I made to her. I know you are not a 996 fan, but I've got a 996 turbo itch that I haven't been able to scratch yet, and I really would like to
buy one.
But while we were driving over here, I'm thinking, oh, this would suck in traffic, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's the last thing I'd want to be doing.
You saw me ride up in that scooter, bro. That's what it's about.
Well,
yesterday I had this Lotus Evora 400 press car.
Do you still have it? I know you were going to have it.
I gave it back this morning. This morning I left. I gave it back because I'm going out of town tomorrow.
Yeah.
I left my house at 7 a.m. to get this thing to Costa Mesa, and I thought I'd be early, and I sat in 2 hours and 20 minutes of traffic getting it to there, and then I had to take an Uber back, and there was a fucking crash, and so whatever, I was basically just in cars for like 4 hours this morning, but by the time I returned the Lotus, I had a bruise on the palm of my hand from going from neutral to first, so, and I actually had developed a bruise there in my hand. I had to like grip the shifter all these different ways because my hand was hurting.
Unreal.
So it's really, that's why everyone in LA has a traffic car and then a Canyon car or a motorcycle or something.
We left Newport at 10:30.
Yeah.
And got here enough time to have a half a sandwich and then race our butts here and you sauce pull
I'm glad you made it, and I thank you for the meats.
You are more than welcome. I hope you enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be stuck in the freezer until you get home.
No. I'm gonna cook. I'm literally gonna cook it tomorrow. Some of it.
Okay.
I just didn't get to do it like in the 3 hours I had last night between when it showed up and when I went to bed.
There's lots of good
fully solid
There's
frozen
lots
meat.
of good stuff in that package. You're gonna have.
Oh, it looked awesome. I'm very excited about it. Thank you. What do you want to plug before we wrap this up? Sports Car Market.
Sports Car Market, American Car
Market
Collector
Magazine. American Car Collector Magazine.
My website, The Driven, at www.readthedriven.com.
Readthedriven.com.
And I'm also writing the automotive blog for a place called the Gents Place.
What's that?
It's a men's high-end haircut, grooming, massage, and they've got locations in Kansas, Texas, and Chicago.
The Gents Place?
The Gents Place.
Lifestyle. #lifestyle.
Yeah, and they are at thegentsplace.com and thegentsblog.com.
Cool. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate it, man. Good show.
It was a
Good
pleasure.
times.
And if you ever find yourself cursed with making it to the Midwest,
I'm going to plan for the auction season next year, and then we can make something happen.
absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Be happy
Thank
to
you.
drag you around.
Brett Hatfield from Sports Car Market and I keep forgetting the auction. What?
American Car Collector.
Why
Car
don't I read Sports Car Market? I don't read American Car Collector. So
I'm going to fix
it's not
that.
in my head.
I'm going to fix that.
I'll have to check that one out.
If you are not already subscribed, I'm going to make sure you are pretty quick.
I buy these in airports at least once.
Nah,
a month.
you're not. You're done doing that. They're coming to your
I'm
house.
overpaying. I know, but I do it because I need it. Thank you, live audience. Your super chats are much appreciated. And for the rest of you, the Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. All you need is something to say, a microphone to say it into, and a way to connect to the internet. Check out my other podcast, Watch and Listen. It's about watches on YouTube, Shout Engine, iTunes, or wherever you get podcasts. And have a good weekend, folks. I am going to Amsterdam with Thaddeus.
Oh, boy.
So all content for the next 15 days is pre-recorded and pre-everythinged, and I will see you on the flip side when I get back from vacation. 2 nights of Pearl Jam, going to drive the Nürburgring, and all the fun things I'm going to do in Europe without you. Bye.